Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be more of like a story time type video. So today is August 20th. It's my 4-year diaversary. So for those of you who don't know, diaversary is the day you are diagnosed with diabetes. So I know some people might think it's weird, like why are you celebrating that? But it's not celebrating like having diabetes, it's celebrating making it another year with it, like surviving and whatever. So I'm gonna give y'all like my diagnosis story. So I'm gonna try not to ramble. I'm just gonna try to get it out and not miss no details. So basically what happened was, it was summer 2017. I had just moved up to Atlanta from Miami. I was away from all my family. So I moved up here March 2017. So I want to say like beginning of August maybe is when I started feeling the symptoms. Symptoms being excessive thirst, excessive urination, fatigue, like extreme fatigue. Like I was at work and I couldn't stand up like for a whole rotation. Like I was just like, I needed to lean up against something. What else? Thirst, urination, fatigue. Oh, dang, I just thought about all the symptoms too before I started the video. I had like weight loss. Those were like the main ones. Yeah, those are the main ones that I had, but there's more symptoms. But those are the ones I had like leading up to my diagnosis. So I was at work tired, like I said, drinking so much water. And like when I say excessive thirst, it's like, it don't matter how much water you drink, you're still thirsty. Like I was literally drinking out of the faucet. I was that thirsty. I would go to sleep with like a gallon of water by my bed and be waking up every 30 minutes to pee. Like that's how thirsty I was, tired, obviously going to the bathroom. So so I had looked it up online and, you know, put in my symptoms, and what came up was type 1 diabetes, or I think it was just like diabetes in general. So I'm like, I don't have diabetes. So I just, you know, brushed it off. And, but then what made me go to urgent care, this might be TMI for some of y'all. What made me go to urgent care is I was having like, I had a yeast infection and it was like really, really uncomfortable. So I went to urgent care to get checked out or whatever. And I don't know exactly what it was that made the doctor that saw me tell the nurse to prick my finger, but they did, and my blood sugar was 342. So normal blood sugar for people who are not diabetic is 80 to 120. So mine was over 300. So the doctor was like, just hit my toe. The doctor was like, you need to go straight to the emergency room. He's like, I think you might be diabetic or whatever. So I left there. Like I said, I was up here by myself. All I had was my roommate, who's not my best friend. So I don't think I went home first. I think I went straight to the hospital. Yeah, so I just texted her like, oh, this is what the doctor said, I'm going to the hospital. So I got to the hospital. I don't think I had to wait that long, that visit. They took me in and they started an IV of insulin to, I guess, bring my sugar down. Doctor comes in, asked me if I've ever been told I was diabetic before. I was like, no. He's like, well, now you have, and he handed a prescription for metformin and for a glucose meter. It's literally all he says. The paper says I have type 2 diabetes. So I'm like, okay, like I'm looking stuff up online. Like I know my mom had diabetes, so like I'm like, okay, I know what I gotta do, like just eat healthier, work out. I mean, I was already working out, but I was like, I just need to clean up my diet some. So I was doing good. Like I was eating healthy. Me and my roommate was eating healthy. I was working out. I had stopped eating candy like how I was before. I stopped, and I'm like, okay, I should be doing better. But my sugar was still high. I was taking the metformin, and the metformin, like, it made me sick. Like every time I would take it, you're supposed to take it when you eat, every time I would take it, like I would be going to the bathroom like within 30 minutes. Like my stomach hurt so bad, like to the point where you didn't really want to take it, but I was still taking it. And then I know there was like a few times I was at work, and I would be feeling really bad. Like I could feel like my sugar was high, and I would check it and it would be like over 400 or something. So I know I went home early one day because I was like, I can barely stand up. My sugar was so high that my meter didn't read it. It just said high. So depending on the meter, it usually means it's like over 500. So I left early. I'm calling my mom. I'm like, I don't know what to do, like whatever. So she's like, just go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room. My best friend went with me. I think we got there like maybe 8 something in the evening. They had like no sense of urgency. Like I told them that I was like newly diagnosed and my sugar was high. Like I don't know what to do, how to get it down. And they kind of had like a nonchalant attitude, like, what did your doctor say? And I'm like, whatever they said, I did. And yeah, so I was in the waiting room for like literally like all night. I don't think I left. My friend went home. I told her to go home. So I don't think I left until like maybe 6 or 7 in the morning. And I didn't even get seen that time. I was just like, after sitting around there. Yeah, so after sitting there all night, obviously not eating or anything, my sugar just kind of started going down on its own. So I left. I went another time, similar situation, like my sugar was high. I couldn't get it to come down. They saw me that time. They did the IV thing again, insulin drip or whatever. And while I was waiting, I guess she was a nurse, came and asked me like what I had ate that day, and I told her. And like it was basically the same thing all the time that we was eating. It was like salmon and broccoli or rice or whatever. But I know I had corn that day. I don't know why I remember this from 4 years ago, but yeah, I had corn. And she was like, oh, you know, corn, I don't know, she said it was like, I don't know, whatever she said it was bad for diabetics. I mean, I thought it was a vegetable, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, that was that. Then, so I was diagnosed August 20th, right? Misdiagnosed. Because, okay, so December comes, and I remember I got this really bad cold. And I know I had called out from work like for like a week. Like I never call out for that long, and especially to actually be sick. Like I was out for like a week. It was really bad. And I think that cold is what like kick-started my type 1. Like, you know, most people like when they get diagnosed, they're like honeymooning, like their pancreas still makes just a little bit of insulin. So I think that's what's happening with me at first, because some days my sugar would be okay, and then other days it'll be really high. But once I got sick that time, like I could never get it back down. Like literally every time I checked, it just said high, or it was like in the 400s, 500s. So so that was December. So I went for months, like just living like that, like just, excuse me, constantly high. And it became like my normal. Like I was so used to being at those elevated numbers that it felt normal to me. And I was losing a lot of weight. And if I can figure it out, I'll put some pictures in here. But yeah, I was losing a lot of weight. And before I got diagnosed, I was like my highest, like 250 pounds. And then by the time I went to go see my current doctor and got diagnosed correctly, I was like my lowest I got to was 193. So at the time I was like, oh, this is great, like, because I was still eating healthy and I was still working out. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm losing weight. Like, this is awesome, right? So my video cut off because I didn't have no space on my phone. So I'm gonna try to remember where I was at. But basically, so I went to see my current doctor. That was like May 2018. So from December to May, I was like with those high blood sugars. So I see her I guess she looks at my meter and stuff to like see what my numbers have been. I told her like what happened when I got diagnosed, and right away she's like, I don't think you're type 2, I think you're type 1. And me not knowing nothing, I'm like, I thought type 1 was just for kids, like I thought only kids can get type 1. And she was like, no, that's a misconception, but even you being 25, it's still very young for type 1. So I was like, okay. So she's like, I'm gonna do some blood work to make sure it is type 1, make sure you have the antibodies or whatever, and I'm gonna send you home with some insulin. So she gave me the short acting, the long acting. I was supposed to take like 8 units with every meal, and then 20 units a day of the long acting. And so I went home, I started doing that. Sorry, I just drank some Diet Coke. So I went home and started doing that, and I noticed I started gaining weight like quickly. So in my mind, I'm like, oh no, this is making me gain weight. Like, I don't want to take this. So I literally would only take like 1 shot a day, and that was really bad. And come to find out, that's an eating disorder called Diabulimia, when you don't take your insulin or you only give yourself just enough to get by so that you can still lose weight or maintain the weight you're at. So that's what I was doing for like 2 or 3 months. I don't think I told anybody I was doing that. And honestly, while I was doing it, I knew it was wrong. I knew it was like hurting my health and all that. But I didn't know that it was an eating disorder at the time. So yes, I did that for like 3 months to my next appointment when I went to her. So I went back, she was like, yeah, your results came back, you are type 1. And then she looked at my A1C, which is the average of your blood sugars within a 3-month period. So when she had checked me the first time I seen her, my A1C was like 14 something. When I went back the second time, it went up to 15.1. And I don't know what the normal range is for non-diabetics, but I think it's like in the 5s. I think it has to be like under a 6, I think, don't quote me. So yeah, so she was like, maybe if I give you a glucose monitor that you can wear, maybe it'll help you like keep up with your blood sugars and stuff. And she was like, I'm gonna set you up with a diabetes educator so you can get some more information, and she can like, you know, teach you how to take care of yourself basically. So after that appointment, I don't know what it was, something in me just made me start like researching stuff on my own. So I did get the glucose monitor. I started using that, and then it was like an eye-opener because you can see your blood sugar like constantly. So you can like see what it's doing. So after that appointment, I went home and I started watching like YouTube videos about type 1 diabetes. And then I looked on Instagram. I started finding a lot of people on Instagram. There's like this whole diabetes community on Instagram. And so I started following people, and I just started learning so much just from watching the YouTube videos. And I started listening to the Juice Box podcast, which is really helped me a lot. I'm not sure if I listened to that before my appointment with the diabetes educator, but by the time I did go see her, I knew so much already, and I kind of went in there prepared. And she was shocked, and she was like trying to teach me stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I know about this, I know about that. And she asked me if I wanted to get put on an insulin pump, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of interested. And she like showed me like the 3 that's on the market, and I decided to go with the Omnipod. I'm still on Omnipod. I kind of want to switch though, but then I don't. Like, I don't know how I don't think I want to deal with tubes, but at the same time, I've been having a lot of problems with the pods, like failures and stuff, and the PDM. That's a whole nother story. So yeah, so I started pumping about August 2018, so like a whole year later. So yeah, and then like once I found out that not giving myself insulin and stuff was an eating disorder, I guess the words eating disorder did something to me, because I'm like, I don't want to have no eating disorder. And it was like really hard for me mentally to come out of that, but I just really had to like stop focusing on my weight. Like, of course I was still eating healthy and working out, but like if I get on the scale and I see like my weight has gone up, I try not to let it affect me anymore like how it did before. Like, I just keep telling myself, like, the number that's on my meter, like my blood sugar number, is more important than my weight, because if I don't, I feel like I'll just go back into that. And there's been a couple times where I felt like I wanted to do that because like my weight was just like not going nowhere. But I don't know, you have to be really disciplined. And yeah, I don't think discipline is the right word either. Like, it's really hard to like pull yourself back from like when like fighting against your mental, like it's hard. So I mean, but yeah, like if any of y'all are dealing with that, like I completely understand, and I understand it's not easy. But yeah, that's my diagnosis story. Every day, like diabetes is on the back of your mind every day. Everything you do, whether it's eat, work out, whether you're hydrated, anything you plan on doing in the day, diabetes is in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video right here because my camera keeps cutting off because I don't have enough space and it's irritating. But thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.